My pleasure being here with you again.
All right. So, what's your take on the stay of execution on the suspension of the former Senate President as BOT chairman, that is Adolfo Fubara?
Okay, well, even though I'm not a politician, but because I'm observing the political space and offering my opinion, I think it is not out of place given the uncertain, the fluid and unwieldy political environment we have in Nigeria, where a lot of things are possible, from the reasonable to the absurd. At the center, the political gerrymandering, the power tussle, at the center, and then maybe one or two persons can influence somebody somewhere in your ward, in your unit, to do some funny things, which we have seen play out. But then it's politics. At the end of the day, the political gladiators, they will still settle, and it will still be at the detriment of even the people who carried out the suspension at the end of the day.
Okay.
We have seen over time.
Okay, so let's now scale that down to what we see happening in Rivers State too, where we see these fights between the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and of course Fubara, and the announcement, the latest announcement by the Supreme Court. Now, when we see these political tussles happen in these states, what is the political future, most especially in this case for Rivers State?
Well, I would say that given the posture of the governor, the political climate in Rivers State is bright, because it takes two to tango. And in this case, regardless of what are his political benefits or disadvantages, whatever he stands to gain or lose in the whole of this, he has chosen to be the man on the ground, to be the man that is on the pleading side, trying to make peace and all of that. We know better that the man who was there 8 years ago, who handed over to him, if it was in this, if this situation were to replay then, we know that Rivers State would have gone up in flames. So if you ask me the future of Rivers State in all of this, the future is bright because the governor has considered the interest of the people of Rivers State paramount. So you see him withdrawing an appeal from the Supreme Court. Let bygone be bygone, let peace reign. The Supreme Court has ruled on the House of Assembly. He's not questioning it. His posture is that, okay, the government will abide by the decision of the Apex Court. The Supreme Court gave a ruling on the local government, election in the state, and the government under him has also advertised itself as a government that is, amenable to the rule of law and will comply. So you see, with that kind of posture, the future of Rivers State is very bright.
Okay.
Contrary to if we had somebody else who had issues with self-worth, who had issues with inferiority complex, that one will fight and keep fighting, just like he has been doing. To him, if Rivers State has to be, if a state of emergency has to be declared in Rivers State, no wahala. If the Supreme Court, has to order that everybody in Rivers State should be thrown into Port Harcourt prison, no wahala. If all the militant groups in Rivers State will come to the street and be shooting each other, burn down houses, no wahala. But thank God we don't have that kind of person. Whatever Tinubu wants to do with those kind of people, that's fine. But for the man on the saddle now, as the governor of Rivers State, he has shown the character, the candor, the demeanor of the place he is coming from, of the Bani stock, of the Ijaw ethnic nationality, and those people prioritize peace.
Okay. Now, but then, do you trust the Martin Amaewhule? Jumbo, do you trust the leadership of Martin Amaewhule led House of Assembly not to push for Fubara's impeachment, probably even reject the budget, the state's budget?
Okay, as per the Martins Amaewhule issue, I think we are dealing with a situation where people don't understand what the Supreme Court has ruled on. The Supreme Court is dealing with a simple situation that everybody can relate to. Let's assume that I was declared the governor of Rivers State, and then somebody challenged me in court, and then it got to the Supreme Court. But the Supreme Court is not aware that I've died. And the Supreme Court said Godswill Jumbo is the authentic governor of Rivers State, and he should be sworn in immediately. But before the Supreme Court, there is no information before the Supreme Court that Godswill Jumbo is dead and buried. I mean, what will happen? So we have a situation where the rest, the subject matter before the Supreme Court is the challenge to the Martins Amaewhule leadership of the House of Assembly. That came before the defection. So now the Supreme Court has dealt with the minute issue that as at the time when this particular issue before us was, the trending issue, it was the subject matter. Martins Amaewhule was the substantive Speaker of the House. The Supreme Court is not, there's no information before the Supreme Court that this same Speaker and his colleagues have defected from the party that sponsored them to office, which Section 109, which they are aware of. And if you check, in the day that the Speaker was reading that defection letter, he quoted Section 109, subsection 1 to 1G. You understand? So it's all there. It's clear. Now, the Supreme Court is not aware that they defected, and that issue has not come to them. That issue is at the Federal High Court at the moment, and the case was called up 3 days ago, and then has been adjourned to April.
Okay.
So that matter is not there. So people will be relating or claiming that Martins Amaewhule was reinstated by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court never said so. We need to check. Well, by the way, in a few days' time, the CTC of the judgment will be out. We would want to see what the Supreme Court said, in effect.
Okay.
But come to your question about the leadership capacity of Martins Amaewhule. Martins Amaewhule has leadership qualities, but unfortunately, he's following a leader that will not allow him to exhibit those qualities. I've known Martins Amaewhule over time. He is somebody that is robust politically. He is somebody that is, academically ascetic.
Okay.
Is, an erudite scholar.
All right,
So,
Jumbo.
Son holding that office, I'm sure he will deliver.
Okay.
But the influences around him is not going to allow him to do what the office demands of him.
All right, thank you very much, Jumbo. Let's just put that conversation to bed there where you have actually placed it. And we just wait for the final verdict on this particular issue to know where justice will eventually lean. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us.